Rocky Horror Minute is rated R. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is also rated R. We're going to spend this time discussing the movie in gory detail, and along the road we will talk about some adult content and use some of our favorite swear words.
It's true! Vagina dentata!
Consider yourselves warned.
Welcome to Rocky Horror Minute, the podcast where we discuss the Rocky Horror Picture Show in excruciating detail, 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Kelly.
And I'm your other host, Leandra.
And I'm still here.
Yeah, for today we've decided to let Brad Monroe live for 1 more minute. Say hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Oh man, it's humor like that that's gonna get you eaten by Perry Bedden soon.
Feet first.
Yes. Before that, we have to discuss minute 71 of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Nice. Wait, no.
No! What happens in minute 71?
Well, we've heard the opening couple of notes to a new song at the end of minute 70, and we continue to hear that starting to ramp up. Frank goes chasing after Janet. Brad begins pushing Dr. Scott through the castle, with Dr. Scott yelling, this way, to indicate which way they should go. This leaves Riff, Magenta, and Rocky in the dining room, with Rocky in a corner. Magenta and Riff are cackling about how funny all of this is until Riff abruptly yells, shut up. Frank begins to sing while chasing and catching up to Janet on the staircase. He says, I'll tell you once, I won't tell you twice. You'd better wise up, Janet Weiss. Your apple pie don't taste too nice. You'd better wise up, Janet Weiss. And at this, Janet knees Frank in the groin to escape from him. She continues climbing the stairs. Brad and Dr. Scott go into the elevator. Janet turns onto a landing we've seen before when Dr. Scott was first getting electromagneted up into the lab. Frank is close behind her and he continues, I've laid the seed. It should be all you need. You're as sensual as a pencil, wound up like an E or first string. When we made it, did you hear a bell ring? Janet and Frank find themselves back in the lab, coming in through the hole Dr. Scott made. Frank continues chasing after Janet down the ramp. You got a block? Well, take my advice. You'd better wise up, Janet Weiss. Janet stumbles, and Frank rushes past her to the transducer board. Brad and Dr. Scott have exited the elevator at this point and are also in the lab when Frank says, the transducer will seduce ya. My feet, says Janet, realizing that she is frozen in place. Maybe. I guess we'll get more context next minute.
Now, the ending of this minute is something you really loved, right, Leandra?
How do you figure?
Because it mentions feet.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. That's Oscar.
I love...
Feet.
No, that's Oscar and you. I love how Janet screams as she runs out of the room. It's really funny. They're like, ah! 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 Like, just continuously. It's really good.
Yeah, she's being very theatrical.
And then we see another weird taxidermy.
We do.
I think. It might not be a taxidermy, but there's something that appears to be a lizard of some kind, which might be taxidermied, or it might be a statue. I couldn't really tell, wearing like a ruffly, like, tool thing around its neck.
It almost looks like an Elizabethan collar, sort of ruff, sort of thing.
Yeah. So, just had to point him out. What
There's
the fuck?
so much weird shit in this castle, it's great.
I know. Brian Thompson, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are.
Especially since we
Thank
clarified that you're alive.
Yes, that you're not dead. Yeah. I mean, if he were dead, he would definitely be listening, because he would just have nothing else to do, right?
Yes.
Okay. I hate the apple pie line.
I hate every line of this. Every bit of it is very, very stupid.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think "You're as sensual as a pencil." Is it that bad of a line?
That
And
means she's not
that's
very
kind of
sensual.
yeah. So I think we've talked about it already, but Leandra and I love to quote the Drunky Horror Picture Show when he goes, "You're as sensual as a pencil." That means you're not that sensual. If Leandra's present, I always do that as a callback for that moment. But I've always thought that line was decent in an otherwise really bad. Although the rhyme is a stretch, and I actually wrote, truly, this is a minute of approximate rhymes. Because there's so many in this song. The transducer will seduce ya.
Yeah, Eminem could learn a thing or two.
Yeah.
A lot of these lines don't even make sense, though.
The apple pie one makes sense, but it is disgusting, and I feel exactly as Janet seems to feel when she goes "ah" in response to that.
Yeah, Richard O'Brien was on some real freak moments.
That's like an incel line.
in this movie, the seat wedding.
Ugh.
There's something about every line in this that feels like it started in English and then was translated into another language and then translated into another language and then translated back to English, because it doesn't, they are all words. They just don't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, this is like what you would get if you asked Chat GPT to write you like a sexy song for the end of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh fuck, I'm gonna do that right now.
Oh, please do.
I think it's gonna have an issue with the word sexy, but I'm gonna try anyway.
Say sensual.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a pencil. Can you write me a sexy song for the end of the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
It must include the words apple pie
Pencil.
and pencil.
Alright. I don't know why it has to include those words.
But it does. That's the prompt.
Let's see what he's got.
Survey says.
Okay. This is honestly better at a glance than this song, in my opinion. So perhaps AI is going to take all our jobs. In the shadows of the night, where fantasies ignite. Now, that's a bit of a lame rhyme, but there's a craving deep inside, burning bright, with lips like apple pie, and a gaze that's oh so sly. You're the thrill I can't deny, under the moonlit sky. The chorus is, let's dance in the dark where passion's fire sparks. Okay, no, this sucks ass. AI is not taking our jobs. You're the pencil to my art, leaving traces on my heart.
This slaps.
In this wild cosmic ride, you're the one I can't deny. Let's lose ourselves tonight in a love that feels so right. With every touch a symphony of desire, like a flame rising higher and higher. You're the mystery I long to unravel in this midnight unravel. Okay. So let's escape the mundane, let our spirits intertwine. In this ecstasy we'll find our divine. With every kiss we'll write our story in the ink of love's glory.
Whole.
Let's dance. Yeah. See, we're even writing callbacks for it. They do the chorus again, and then the outro is, underneath the stars where fantasies roam free, you and I in sweet serenity. Let's savor every moment until the dawn's first light. In this moment, we'll shine so bright. I guess that could go like where superheroes is.
Yeah, I didn't hate it nearly as much as this. And yeah.
With lips like apple pie is a stretch, but
it's not disgusting.
Yeah, that's true. And you're the pencil to my art, leaving traces on my heart. I guess that's as good as anything.
It's better than you're sensual as a pencil.
You're as essential as a pencil.
Well, if any listeners want to set that to music, be my guest. I have the lyrics here.
So they're running. That happens this minute.
Yeah, they're running. This minute is literally the entirety of the underwear run for our cast. So there's not as much in terms of like audience interaction usually. I do
Leandra might enlighten us during the callbacks, but like even when I've gone to other cast shows during this moment, it's usually just the song happening and the actors scrambling around.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, like I don't have any callbacks for this minute. We're jumping ahead, but also just there's not that much going on. So I do want to say I think Frank or Tim Curry looks different in this minute and the ones to come in the lab, and I wanted to know why you guys think that is.
Well, I'm wondering if this was potentially filmed later as a way to tie in the dinner scene and the transition to floor show.
That's possible. Yeah, that I don't know. I mean, it would have had to be there because there's the song.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if his makeup's different or what, but his face looks really different to me in a good way actually. In this minute and in the lab scene to come, he has this like really like boyish, like impish look to him. You know what I'm talking about, Leandra?
I do. I think that it's something to do with the nose. I feel like they do a little bit more highlight on the tip of the nose. And I will throw out there that this definitely had to be done in multiple shots because at the very least, it's not like the lab exists in the castle. So they had to do a pretty decent job with the makeup match. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it could just be how they were doing his makeup or something. It could be, also, it could just be like the way he's emoting maybe is
Oh, that's
different. But either
possible.
way, it's probably some combination of the two. But I love it. I think he looks really cute. It reminds me of Puck, which I know is a role that he played. So, yeah, just a thought.
You're a thought.
Sure am.
I will be I will be forever mad at Broadway not allowing recordings of at least one show where famous actors play roles like that. I would kill to see Tim Curry do some Broadway stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't. What was his Puck performance? That was a surely that was a British production, right?
Yeah, that was in London. It wasn't like even West End as far as I can tell.
Wasn't his Broadway thing he was playing
He was Mozart, yeah.
yes,
Amadeus.
yeah.
Yeah, such a loss that we can't see that. I'm sure it was incredible.
There is a moment in this minute that reminds me of a fairly late Simpsons episode, and it's when Dr. Scott and Brad are going into the elevator. It could just be because I do this when I'm playing Brad. There's this episode of The Simpsons where Marge and Homer are pretending to be spies, and Marge is taking the stairs and like parkouring, and Homer is in the elevator and he's just like pretending to parkour off the sides of the elevator. And and anytime I play Brad when I'm in the elevator, I just pretend to be like absolutely trying to convey that I'm still having that sort of energy like Janet is. But I'm in an elevator, so, it's not the same thing.
For that thing with Brad, I said Brad sucks for this one, or is he a true ally? Because his fiance is being attacked by Frankenfurter, and instead of running after her in any way, he has decided to help Dr. Scott go to the elevator and take him upstairs, which I guess is helpful, although we've seen no indication that Dr. Scott needs his help to wheel around.
I mean, if I were Brad, I'd go, wow, you know what? She just ran into the arms of another man. She can go take care of herself.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be mad if Brad ran into the arms of Rocky, but I don't think I would let him get attacked by somebody.
I mean, maybe he didn't want to leave Dr. Scott there with Riff and Magenta, who presumably butchered up his nephew.
That is fair. I don't know. Yeah, he just seems like very passive about the whole thing, but
Yeah, he also isn't exactly the brightest. Maybe he just grabbed the nearest object and was like, well, I'm taking you places now, Scott.
that is me when we have to break up the dinner scene. I grab the nearest object and I'm like, I'm taking you off stage with me.
Brad is just incredibly excited and happy to see Dr. Scott, though. So
Yeah.
it could just be like, oh man, no, you're my new best friend here. I'm just going to protect you.
Yeah, I love reading their relationship as Brad thinking that they have a really special bond and Dr. Scott just feeling awkward about the whole thing.
Brad, what are you doing here?
Not to give us back to back clips, but the commentary I thought for this minute was really, really interesting. So, if I may.
Absolutely.
This film was like some other world unfolding to me. It was like I was in a story that was happening.
Well, that's one of the strange things when you talk about that, because it was that surreal quality to the movie that was very disturbing. Because we've been doing the show for months before we made the movie,
Yes.
and it ran for an hour 35 when it was slow, an hour 30 when it was on time,
Right.
an hour 25 when it was really hiking along.
Yeah.
And we went to watch the movie, which was 90 minutes, an hour and a half exactly, and it seemed so long and so slow and so gently unfolding. You go, how can that happen? We've got more dialogue in the movie. We've got extra things in the movie. How can we actually add these longueurs and yet still be running at an hour 30? I don't understand
I
it.
see.
And there was a surreal, dreamlike quality. There was a very dreamlike quality to Rocky Horror the movie, which was never present in Rocky Horror the
On
stage
stage.
show.
Yeah, so, well, Richard, maybe it's because you had multiple shots on a chandelier going down for what seems like eternity.
Well, but, I mean, I don't understand why he has a hard time understanding why the movie was shorter than the musical, even though the movie has more stuff in it, because obviously with a stage show, you need time to move things around. You can't do what we on film, like let's say somebody has to walk around a table serving meat. You don't have to show every single step and every single piece of meat laying down. You just have to show enough for the audience to intuit that that's what's happening. But obviously on stage, they're human beings, so you can't just cut that part. So, film always ends up shorter than musicals for that reason. I don't know. Thoughts?
I think that it's just, as somebody who has seen multiple productions of the Rocky Horror Show, they're just paced differently. They put more time into certain things and less time into other things. Like the lab scene in the Rocky Horror Show is super, super short, but it seems like they add much more time into other bits. Like I feel like the bedroom scenes tend to take a little bit longer in the Rocky Horror Show. And it's stuff like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just thought that was an interesting little bit of commentary, and I agree that there is a dreamlike quality to the movie that I haven't seen the show, but I can understand how the show would feel a little more frenetic.
Yeah. Now, listeners, if you want a real dreamlike film, watch Suspiria.
That, yeah, if you like slow dreamlike movies that are actually awesome, and our star Jessica Harper, who was also the star of Shock Treatment, she plays Janet, so little connection to Rocky Horror there. Anyway, watch Suspiria.
Suspiria Minute, anybody?
I would love Suspiria Minute.
I don't have any other notes other than callbacks. Do either of you have anything?
There are callbacks.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't technically have a callback, but I have a thing, an audience participation thing, which I didn't even know this until recently because I had never seen it, but in some productions, the prop bag will have a bell in it for you to ring when he says, "When we made it, did you hear a bell ring?"
Yeah.
I do like the little piano sting after that, the ding dong.
Yeah, I've been to casts that have that in their prop bag. I've never thought that it was good for our show because we do an underwear run instead.
Yeah, I will also say that at least the particular kind of bell that this prop bag had, ain't no way, even with them all ringing at once, there would be no way to hear them. It was way too quiet.
For sure. They're itty bitty tiny ones.
Yeah. But still cute. That's what I got.
All right, callbacks. Brad, do you have any?
nope.
Kelly, do you have any?
No, that was it.
Oh. So I have, can you tell me twice? And then Frank says, I won't tell you twice. And you go, aw. And your apple pie don't taste too nice. The callback to that is, it was cherry and they were all popped.
Mm.
Oh god. Blech.
Yeah, and then when Janet knees Frank in the groin, you go, ow, 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 ow. Just kind of fun.
That is funny. I did write in my notes for that minute, nut shot. Also, I've always wanted, but have never actually come up with a way to do it, but I've always wanted to do a reference to football and groin from The Simpsons at that time.
It would be difficult to do that as Janet because you're doing the underwear run.
No, I just meant like as a callback.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't mean I wanted to visually reference that classic Simpsons scene, but yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, one day a listener will leave that in a 5-star review.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. And then I will say it to the 5 people who are still in the audience.
Yeah.
The next callback that I have is wound up like an E or G string.
Woohoo.
And for It Should Be All You Need, you say Sunny after that, which is a reference to a Sonny and Cher song, All I Ever Need Is You. And You've Got a Block, well, Suck My Cock. And then someone tried to give our cast a fun callback, and it was, we're the transducers and we'll seduce ya. And not surprisingly, that didn't work.
Oh, that's cute though.
Aw. That is cute. We can do it if we ever like in the Pride Parade again, because that sounds like a Pride Parade chant.
Yeah.
If I knew that existed, I'd be doing it as an audience member.
It's such a stretch, I think. I mean, it isn't, but it also kind of is. It's just kind of a bad line, and I don't know.
Yeah, and again, there's nobody in the audience at this. I mean, I think that's honestly probably why it didn't catch on. There's nobody to hear it.
Well,
So did it make
hypothetically,
any sound?
some people are at least getting back to their seats at this point, but they're putting their pants on.
Hypothetically, there's too much chaos for callbacks if there's an underwear run in this minute, I think.
Yeah. Agreed. So that's all I got.
Oh, great. Well, Brad,
Yeah.
how's that website coming?
Have you made our website?
Not in the last 30 minutes, no.
Have you figured out another reason why you shouldn't go into the woods? I'm taking that as a no.
Yeah,
So
no compelling ones. I guess I'll just back away here.
Guess I'll just die.
Yeah.
guess I'll pie. Apple pie.
No,
Ugh, now he wants to die.
I don't.
But you're gonna anyway.
Yeah.
But you get to have your final words be something that we all say together.
Oh, is that?
So
What's that?
Yeah, it's now.
now
You
you
don't
don't
have to go home, but you can't
but you
stay
can't
here.
stay here.
So get the fuck out.
To the late night double feature picture show.
Goodbye,
I'll
Brad.
just this looks cozy over here. I'll just walk this way, quiet, fade this out.
Clip clop of your little
full.
your footsteps.
Why are your footsteps clip clopping? Is Brad hooved?
No, he's wearing taps.
Secretly a horse.
The horse is here.
Peter. The horse is here.
Oh man.
Ah,
Well, that was fun for at least us.